that's dope.
What up, everybody?
That,
Thanks, man. This is my first show. It's welcome to Open the Gates. On this show, we basically it's a threshold into the world of creators. And on this show, we have Brian Kreisgau. I'm your host, Matt Burke. And say what up to the chat, Brian, and everybody say what up to Brian.
What up, chat? What up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in.
Sweet. So, Brian, tell us a little bit about yourself, bro. I mean, for all those that don't know who you are, that may be watching.
Okay. All right. I am the critically acclaimed, award-winning creator of SIX-GUN GORILLA Long Days of Vengeance. And, but by the way, I love saying that I'm an award winner. It's like some stupid award I won for writing like when I was in at university. Right? But I like to say award winning, you just like your imagination fills in the blank. You know what I mean? You don't know what award that could be. It could be something really dope.
The major award.
The award I got was the Portia Dunham Award for Fiction. Very prestigious. Very prestigious. Everybody knows that one, right?
Right.
And although I can't honestly say critically acclaimed, because everybody seems to like the book. I've been doing it now for about what 8 years, and just released the 8th issue. And it hasn't been like an issue a year. It's been like, a couple issues, and then I've been like sort of releasing it sporadically because, of course, I'm an indie comics guy, and you have to get the funds in order to be able to do this. And then, we don't make a lot of money off these books. So then pretty much all the dough that we do make goes into like the next project. And, well, I mean, it takes time, but what can I say? I am super happy and super lucky that that people love my writing, and I actually have people hiring me to write for them now. That blows my mind, right? That's so like the imposter syndrome kicks in. I'm just like waiting for someone to like notice I'm not supposed to be here.
Any spoilerific projects you might be working on that you could maybe tell us about?
Oh,
and if not, that's cool too. I mean, I'm just.
Well, yeah. I mean, next year is going to be interesting. Next year is going to be interesting because there's going to be the Blood Hunt Doc Salem crossover, which I'm doing with my friends Simon Poitier, that's sexy Quebecois, and equally as sexy Preston Acevedo, although he's married, ladies, so don't get any ideas. And that's going to be a real thrill. I mean, I already wrote the script. It's just a matter of them illustrating it. But that's going to happen next year, it looks like, hopefully. And then I wrote Nine Devils, which is going to be a big project for Preston, which he's planning on not illustrating but painting.
Ooh, and wow.
That's going to have like post-apocalyptic motorcycle gangs, demons and angels and zeppelins and all kinds of crazy shit in it, and so I'm looking forward to that. And then there's a book that I wrote under the title of Abraxas that's going to be illustrated, it looks, by Maxi Diallo.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's the
Adam Lost.
And he also did the what is it? The Still Cowboy book.
He did that.
Jack Irons. I backed that book, man. I can't.
Jack Irons. And which is terrific. And also he illustrated the story that I wrote for the Kill Journal.
I remember that. Oh, that book was excellent, bro.
Let me see. Do I have that right here? I think I do. I may have to knock RoboCop over in order to get
dun 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 dun.
Oh wait, this one actually has a battery in it.
I think I had. Oh, what the?
Is a jetpack, so it's like
you can hear him. That's pretty awesome, dude.
But yeah, Adam was kind enough to throw your boy a bone and allow me the privilege of writing a story, an origin story for one of the characters in the Kill Journal. and Maxie just killed it. I mean, did such a beautiful job, and also did what you really look forward to in a book, which is adding details that weren't in your script, but that take the story to another level, right?
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I love that. I love his style. It reminds me of a little bit of I forgot his name, man. The guy that did Rumble, James Herron. It reminds me of James Herron a little bit, and a little bit of Donald DeLay. A little bit,
Yes.
Some of his stuff. I know
Absolutely.
Donald's a chameleon, an artistic chameleon, but yeah, I love that. Good
Well,
stuff, man.
well, Adam was looking for an artist,
Mm.
and I was like, dude, why don't you just get Maxie?
Mm.
Because he killed it.
Right.
With that story, and Jack Irons is fantastic. Like, he could definitely do it and do it justice. And so that's also going to be my first horror comic, which is exciting but also intimidating.
Right.
Because you know me, I'm a horror guy.
Yeah,
and
you gotta live up to it.
And
right?
You know,
it's a big. That's your genre, and you got to fucking live up to it.
It is.
We got Jay Dollar. Holla, Jay Dollar.
What up, Jay Dollar Dog? Oh yeah, actually, yeah. Also, I just this popped out of the Kill Journal. Speaking of Preston, get that.
Oh yeah,
fucking
love it, man.
Yeah, man.
Badass piece.
Yeah. So, super excited to be working with the people that I'm working with. Super grateful to be working with the people that I'm working with.
Wellspring of talent, right there.
Oh my god! Right? And man, and it's so much fun. You know, if you're not having fun doing this, do something else. Because
yeah, right?
If you're not having fun making comic books, something's seriously wrong. You're doing it the wrong way.
Yeah, you got to, man. You have to.
Man.
I got a question for you. What is your favorite metal band?
Favorite of all time?
All-time favorite metal band.
If you consider Sabbath.
Okay. No, I do.
Right.
They're like, yeah, that's like, to me, they're on the threshold of metal. You know what I mean? Them, Motorhead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would cite those two for me anyways, you know, as like some of the beginners. I mean, you could even throw Zeppelin in there a little bit, but it was kind of, you know, and then there's a few others too that, you know, but for sure Sabbath. I mean, it's always the go-to for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I was lucky to have like an older brother that was into Sabbath. So I discovered Sabbath way early, like 5th grade, 6th grade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I probably discovered them around then for me too. My sister was really into metal. She kind of got me into it at a young age. Them and like Pantera, but then grunge it was grunge. Like a lot of that stuff was hitting in the 90s at that time. But
yeah. Grunge replaced metal.
It was Paranoid though. That was always the album. And then Crazy Train kind of fucking stepped through there. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like, oh, as you're a kid, you're just like, oh, that's all one big CD, you know?
Yeah.
You just hear the singles, you know?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, man. Sabbath, hell yeah.
Well, I remember actually bringing, we had like a little kiddie party in 6th grade in my class. Yeah. And so the kids got to bring in their records and play them.
Right.
And so they brought in all the whack shit.
Oh.
Right.
Damn.
They brought in the whackness. They brought in like Billy Joel, Styx. Right.
Yeah.
And so I brought in, you know, we sold our souls for rock and roll. And what up, World of Conan? And, you know, I converted those kids.
Yeah.
They're all rocking out to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just wanted to listen to Sabbath over and over and over again. And my teacher was a drunk. So I think he was like too loaded to notice or care that we were rocking devil music.
When I was a kid, for me, it was always Iron Man because I always thought of Tony Stark, you know? Mm-hmm. And I was like,
how happy
there's
were
a
you
song.
when you saw the movie and you heard that blasting?
Oh, I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome, you know?
Yeah.
It goes without saying. But then I was always just thinking like, dude, that's a comic book unto itself, a separate universe that's Sabbath's Iron Man that could actually be a fucking comic or a movie or something like that, a video game.
Oh, and yeah, it's a totally different
Paranoid. Paranoid was just like a catchy song, you know? I really got into those two songs, you know? And then Crazy Train, I was like, oh, and you're Randy Rhoads shredding on the guitar, different style, but it, you know, was Ozzy, but still, you know, those are the hits, the singles, you know. But,
and then you had the Dio records, right? And
right,
and I think he was fantastic when he was in Rainbow,
Yeah.
right? And Rainbow to me is superior to all the bands it kind of spawned, right? Rainbow's much better than Deep Purple, I think, for instance. Right?
Yeah, I'll take Rainbow over. I mean, it's just like a lot of reasons. I like his voice; it sounds really cool. And there's a lot of people that kind of sound like, like Dio, but Dio's got like a little more like umph underneath it. Yeah, a little more like, I don't know, dude. He's got a little more. It sounds heavier in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he reaches, I don't mean just, hot heights in terms of, I'm talking about, soaring vocals, right?
Soaring. He's loud. He projects. And then he also has like a little, like a heavierness to his voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In some of the lower tones. But yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
But as a kid, when he replaced Ozzy, I was like, "This is bullshit."
Yeah, fuck this motherfucker. Yeah, right.
You know how you are when you're a kid. I'm a big I think that's probably one of the reasons why when it comes to metal, I'm a goth metal guy. Favorite metal bands of all time, I would have to say definitely Celtic Frost.
Okay,
is way up there. Ridiculously, probably one of the most underrated bands ever. I would say, I always said for ages that Sabbath was the most underrated band ever, but they've sort of caught up to Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, they did. They're everywhere now. They're even, I think they're big. Yeah.
They're even bigger, I would say.
Probably like right now, they're probably bigger. But Zeppelin is pretty big though with the whole Thor, like they're in a lot of movies, and Lord of the Rings coming back and people tying those two together.
I mean, to me, it's like cock rock, I could never...
Oh, you mean the hair or the hair, the fucking glam shit?
Yeah, and just the music itself. It's just,
I can never get into
Robert Plant. I don't like Robert Plant.
Yeah, he's all right. I don't know, man. For me, I can never get into the hair metal too much. You know what I mean? Like for me, it kind of like the two ends. I mean, here and there might be like an all right Motley Crue song, but for the most part, it's like fucking Guns N' Roses. I kind of put Guns N' Roses in there, like kind of at the end of it and at the beginning, somewhere around there, I kind of put Van Halen. Like those are the two that I'll kind of like, that's a stretch, but I'll like, all right,
right,
because they're Van Halen's more like party metal, but his fucking guitar soloing is awesome, dude. And then so
undeniably. But then you've got Diamond David Lee Roth, who is just like a clown.
Yeah, he's fun. You're watching Dave TV. Yeah.
And then there's Slayer, of course. Slayer fan.
Slayer's fun, and they're heavy and
without a doubt. Nowadays, let's see, who do I like? I like Lacuna Coil a lot. Theater of Tragedy, although now they've packed in, and retired. That's also a band I would consider very goth metal. Crematory, although they can be a little silly. There's nothing wrong with a little silliness.
For me, with metal is it's like how fucking serious are you gonna get with your fucking metal and your whole outlook on the genres and subgenres of metal? You know what I mean? How fuck are you gonna how hard are you gonna push that shit to everybody? You know what I mean? Like that's not metal enough. Oh, that shit's this or that. Like it's just, dude, come on, have some fucking fun, bro. It's fucking music, dude. Like it's fucking heavy music that like a lot of people like, dude. Like don't take yourself too serious. Right?
Yeah. Like one band that I actually just recently discovered that I absolutely adore are the Bloody Hammers.
Never heard of them.
Oh, fantastic!
Check them out.
Check them out. It's interesting because they're one of those bands that when people discover them, they're just like, "Why haven't I heard of you before?"
Right.
Why am I just hearing this now? This is awesome. And they're kind of like a horror punk goth metal. Duo, husband and wife duo, and just the fact that they take their name from a Rocky Erickson song. Rocky Erickson was sort of like the father of like horror rock.
Mm-hmm.
And his name is spelled R-O-K-Y for anybody that wants to look him up. But Rocky Erickson was the shit. And this band, the Bloody Hammers, also some of their songs are very Misfitsy.
Oh, okay.
Others are a little more metal. Others are a little more goth. But
little rock and roll in there, little Elvis. in there.
Yeah, but fun, and not taking themselves to like seriously, like at all.
I think like for metal, for me personally, because everybody has their own thing. Like if they're creating music, I think you got to have fun with it, but take it seriously, but then have fucking fun with it. That's why you're doing it. You know what I mean? You take it serious, but because it's your passion, but fuck, dude, you got to loosen up a little bit and have some fun. Like when you perform it, you know, and that's
absolutely.
that's the end goal. You should be fucking performing it if you can, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can't. Some people got to go and, you know, do their thing, maybe record every now and then or jam, but that's what it's about, man. Once you get in a band, you want to perform for people and put on a good fucking show if you can, you know.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. And who else is there? That's all that those are the only bands that come to mind right now. But yeah, I'm German. I got to be like a goth metal guy.
Oh yeah, I would, if someone asked me that, I'd be fucking listing a bunch of shit too. You know, like keep going off. There's so many bands that I like.
Oh
too.
man, yeah.
I was thinking about SIX-GUN GORILLA, man, and obviously we're homies. We got our own show. We're gonna do another show, Horror Movie Club, and you know we're doing it at 5 today, or sorry, 8 o'clock.
EST 5 your time, right?
Yeah, I'm in fucking Deadfornia, and you're in Dead York.
In Nuke York, yeah.
Yeah, Nuke York. And I was wondering, and you know, I've read all the SIX-GUN GORILLA books, so I can speak that they're fucking awesome. You know, some of the best written comic books I've ever read.
Oh man,
what is there to expect from the next chapter? I know you're doing 2 more chapters, right? But what's going to happen? What's a little like breadcrumb you could give us for the next chapter?
It's the climax.
Okay.
It's a climax. Everything has come to a head, and this is like the big payoff, right?
Okay.
In issue 7 was the big gun down. That also was a payoff in many respects that I've been building up to, right?
Yeah.
And then the last issue has quite a bit of action in it, but it's more plot oriented than maybe some of the previous issues. I always make sure not to get the story bogged down in talking heads or anything like that. Always try to give the artist that I'm working with something visually interesting.
Right. Yeah, it makes it fun as fuck for artists, you know.
Yeah, because if your artist is having fun, guess what? It's going to come across on the page. Yeah, and then you're going to have more fun reading that book.
Hell yeah.
Right? Because you can tell, like, they're just digging it, right? And yeah, so 9 and 10 are both going to be wrapping this series up. So 9 is going to be all action, and 10 is going to be mostly action, and then a denouement.
Okay.
Right? In other words, I'm not going to stop the story cold.
Yeah,
it's going to be a epilogue.
Right. No, that's awesome, man. That's good to hear. I can't wait.
I can't wait either.
That sounds
I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to it. You know, a pistol packing gorilla on a Zeppelin.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Enough said.
Oh man. He's like
swinging around.
No ticket. Remember?
Yeah.
That's my favorite one, the Crusade.
Indiana it's going to be good. It's I wrote the scripts years ago, so now it's interesting coming back and touching them up, because I'm not the writer that I was.
Right.
When I wrote those.
Who's this motherfucker?
Right.
Yeah. No, I same thing with me too. Like I'm not a writer either, but I do write and I do draw, and just going back and looking at certain things, and I'm like, fuck. And
you're a writer.
Sometimes I want to change things around. Like I already wrote a script for my next book, and as I'm going back and I'm putting the drawings to the page, I'm like, do I need that? Isn't that kind of wordy for this character?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I got a lot of metal fucking barbarian type motherfuckers in the book. They're kind of stoic, but are they all stoic? And should they all be wordy, or should some be wordy? You know what I mean? You can't have everybody just a clone fucking buff motherfucker with the axe and a guitar or whatever. You know what I mean? But
and because
they have to have
personality.
Different. People are different, you know, and I have to. So you're always constantly rendering the story and characters and art. Fucking, I totally understand where you're coming from.
Well, distilling it, you know, and trying to tighten it up. One of like the best experiences I had, just in terms of education, was one of my readers said that after I released the second issue, he was like, "That was awesome. I loved it. But in issue 3, we better get to some vengeance." Right? It's called Line Days of Vengeance. We need to start seeing like some mayhem.
Right.
And I was actually going to stretch it out and have that in the next issue. I was going to do more of a slow burn.
Right.
And then I thought about it, right? Because when our readers give us feedback, it's not like we're chefs and we make things to order.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're buying a comic? Okay, I'll make it your way. No, right? Because let's face it, if comics were made that way, they'd end up. Well, they are made that way now, aren't they? Marvel and DC, they're basically written by Twitter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You know, you got to have your own voice now to if you really want to entertain like fucking people that are normal. You know what I mean? That are into that type of thing. You know what I mean?
People that actually read comics.
Yeah, normal comic readers. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they're gonna want to hear your distinctive vision, whether it sucks or whether it's good. You know what I mean? That just, and that obviously everything is open to interpretation and artistic taste and what people like, different strokes, different folks. But you have to be true to yourself when you're writing the story.
And that's so true, because ultimately, if you're not writing the comic for yourself, I mean, you have to understand that finished product in the end, that might be all you're left with.
Yeah, you got to do your best, and this could be the last day on the earth that you have. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. And you don't. And I remember thinking, like, okay, how am I going to approach this? And I was thinking, oh man, I could make this really Garth Ennis, right? And have him ripping off people's arms and sticking them up their asses and stuff like that. And I thought, well, why should I do Garth Ennis? Because Garth Ennis is right over there. Right. If somebody wants Garth Ennis, they could go read Garth Ennis.
Well, what I was going to say, sorry.
I was just going to say, I was like, I'm going to do me.
Yeah, you got to do Brian.
And then I succeed or fail based on my merits or lack thereof. And at least I could say, this was mine. I did my best. If it's a disaster, okay, I whiffed. It wasn't good enough. But also, if at least you like it.
Right.
Because one of the things I felt terrible about at the New York Comic Con, this is when I always talk about where like every book in Independence Alley was about zombies.
Yeah.
Every single one.
Yeah.
So those people basically, because it was all about The Walking Dead that year. I still have my pass, and it has like The Walking Dead on it, right?
Right.
And those people made a comic book for an audience that doesn't exist. And they're stuck with that. And I remember thinking, like, damn, those people are probably stuck with a comic book that even they don't want to read. That even they don't like.
Well, dude, I read, like, back when it came out, right? We used to watch it, me and the wife, and it was every week. And then we go over to Mom's house and they'd watch it over there. Everybody fucking watched Walking Dead on Sunday night. And I liked it too. And then I just came across an article about Dead World, and I was just like, dude, there was a lot of swipes that were taken from Dead World, dude. I think there was even like a samurai chick. There was a dude RV, you know what I mean? And then I was looking into Dead World. I haven't picked up any of the Dead World stuff, but for me, it's like, that's like Walking Dead on fucking metal. There's like the zombie like leader dude, the biker zombie leader guy. The zombies are in control. They know they're the zombie king. They have they have stargates that go to hell with different deadites. So you got that Evil Dead feel to it as well. Yes. Then he's a fucking biker. Then on top of that, there's human farms. They're breeding humans. Like to me, that is more interesting. It's more fantastic in some ways.
Yeah.
This one's more realistic. Like this is what would happen. This is 38. This is zombie World War Z. This is the fucking one that Cillian Murphy did, the Danny Boyle one. 28 Days Later.
Right.
This is that. Well, those are what would happen in real life. For me, I don't give a fuck about that. I know that shit's gonna happen already. I want to see. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what Walking Dead ultimately is, and a lot of people miss this. It's Robert Kirkman, and I don't mean this even as a diss, right? It's Robert Kirkman doing Stephen King doing George Romero's zombies.
That makes sense.
Right? And look at the characters and everything. It's so Stephen King. And I loved, I like the comic. Not loved. Liked the comic. Loved the first season of the TV show.
I like the first 3 seasons. I like the one with a lot of people hate the governor, and I kind of hated the visual look, but he looked like Sex Machine from Dusk Till Dawn. He looked like Tom Savini. That's how he looked in the book. So I was kind of expecting that. But what we got was kind of like this Liam Neeson type character with a fucking Southern draw, which was cool. Which was cool. It was
much better, I thought.
And I liked that one. He was my favorite. He was my favorite character of the whole show. Yeah. But I liked the Tony Moore art from the first 6 issues.
Oh yeah.
And he was at that time. he was doing Venom with Rick Remender, fucking Agent Venom. That shit was so good. He was a paralyzed alcoholic with daddy issues. It was just really good and well drawn. But anyways, I'm
I love Rick
rambling on
Remender too. And you know me, I'm like a black and white stan. So
yeah, me too. I mean, for horror, it's perfect, dude. You know,
it is. It is. And so it was like a black and white zombie comic. Okay, I'll check that out for sure.
Right.
Then, of course, I think it suffered from the fact that, Kirkman wasn't planning ahead. He wasn't plotting.
Right.
He was just freestyling every issue. He was, but that was the point. He said in the very first issue, I don't know where this is going. This is kind of like an experiment. But then Frank Darabont bought the rights. And then Shawshank Redemption, Frank Darabont, The Mist, Frank Darabont, who, by the way, was at that convention. I walked right freaking past him. I knew who he was. I don't think anybody else there did. I recognized him, and I'm still kicking myself in the ass for not having walked around with copies of my comic, right? And been like, oh, hey, Frank, what's up? Free comic.
Well, I was going to say, too, man, like about your character, I always forget his name, the African, Kumba. About Kumba is you're comparing it to, well, if I do fucking, the style of Garth Ennis, he's sticking the arms up people's asses, ripping arms off, shit like that. That's cool, and I that's kind of like my style and stuff like that. But with yours, I'm always questioning: is Kumba a real? Can this exist? Is this a gorilla fucking real? And in the whole story, I was like, this is a real dude, man. Like this is a real gorilla.
Well,
it's really realistic in that time. Is it possible? And I'm always thinking, yeah, it kind of is in certain ways. And for me, that's scarier, but it's also more heartwarming too. Once he's going to the church and finding out his mission. To me, he felt like a real gorilla that was on the edge of or on the spectrum of becoming that much more than what an average gorilla was, but in that time, so for me, he's a really believable humanoid. Character.
A lot of people say that, and that always means a lot to me because, needless to say, he was a challenge to write.
Oh yeah, I fucking can only imagine. Yeah.
And I was like, well, is he going to talk? I'm like, no, he's a freaking gorilla.
Right.
He's not going to he's not going to be talking, right?
Take you out real quick if you start talking that quick,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, well, how is he going to communicate? I was like, sign language.
Yeah.
Right. Now it's not going to be like the sign language that Coco the gorilla uses, but he's growing up with a human sister.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know how like even twins will have like their own sort of like secret language,
shorthand,
right? So they're going to find a way to communicate, and there's different, there's sign language that's very simple, right? Like if I go, you go that way, right? Or okay, or thumbs. Oh wait, this is like forbidden now. I'm sorry, right? But they're all right. This is peace in the United States. This is FU across the pond in England, right? So we all use sign language, and there's no reason why somebody wouldn't be able to understand some very basic sign language, or I could have him like writing something in the dirt.
Yep.
Right. And once I figured that out, then it was just like smooth sailing, man. Smooth sailing.
And it always works. And for me, I always thought, oh man, like back when I had Disney, there was a movie with Bryan Cranston that they put out, and it was from the gorilla's perspective. It was a true story about how a gorilla was raised in like this farm, like in this mall, like zoo show. I think it was called like I forgot the name of it. My name is Jojo or something. But it's a true story, and the gorilla, they finally let him go, and he's like in a preserve in Africa somewhere, something like that. But Sam Wilson is the gorilla, so you could see him talking. He's talking to the elephant. She's dying. Bryan Cranston is like the ringleader, and he owns the little attraction. It was a great movie. It was a tearjerker. And I just kept thinking about SIX-GUN Gorilla after reading it. But also when I was reading SIX-GUN Gorilla, I was always thinking about Congo. I fucking love that movie Congo growing up. It's fucking terrifying.
It's underrated.
I love the gorillas at the end, dude. I love those gorillas. It's got Bruce Campbell. I love those gorillas at the end, though. They're the fucking guard dogs, and they're brutal and scary, and they're just they're horrifying. You could have done a lot with that movie. You could have done even more, but it's got that more Indiana Jonesian feel to the movie, which I always think is kind of cool. But it's not the adventure, like The Mummy and shit like that. I love those adventure horror movies. I even like Jungle Cruise a little bit.
Well, I mean, the original novel, Congo, it's more obviously a pulp novel, right?
Okay.
Michael Crichton was very much a pulp guy.
Yeah.
And Eaters of the Dead, which was turned into the 13th Warrior.
Yeah, metal as fuck.
Which is a lot of fun. I wish they'd stressed the fact that this was supposed to be Beowulf, the true story.
Right.
But, you know, it's still a fun Viking movie.
Yeah.
That's when you read it, you're just like, oh, this is just like a straight up pulp novel. Right? And this guy loves Robert E. Howard. It's obvious. I think he even like dedicates it to Howard and like Lovecraft and a couple other people. And yeah, or I might be thinking of a different book. And Congo was the same thing, right? Because that's from the genre of King Solomon's Mines. Right? And the Alan Quatermain stories.
Exactly.
Where somebody's finding a lost city in Africa.
That's where Indiana Jones
got that lost city
shit.
of Zinj.
Zinj, yeah.
So if you're not familiar with that genre and you walk into it, you might be like, what? But if you're familiar with it, you're like, oh, yeah.
I love that shit, dude. That shit's awesome.
I do too.
I do
too.
And that's where Indiana Jones...
to the core.
Yeah. Yeah, it's dope, dude.
Yeah, and of course I love me some Tarzan. And that's ultimately what SIX-GUN GORILLA is. It's Tarzan in reverse. Instead of, I'm always amazed that people miss this too. I feel like I got away with murder here, right? I'm always waiting for somebody to be like, man, that's just Tarzan in reverse. But like only one person has gotten that so far.
No, I totally get it, dude. It's fucking awesome. I wanted to share the campaign real quick if we can.
Yeah,
I want to check it out. It's on a pretty new crowdfunding site called Zoop. You want to talk about that real quick while I pull it up?
Absolutely. Okay. I always feel like I can never give much back to the community because my artist friends can, somebody's campaign is struggling, they can bust a variant cover, they can bust some sketch cards or something like that. What am I going to do? Write people a paragraph? So what I like to do is, just little experiments, right? Like I did with Kickstarter, where I was like, okay, let me just like throw my book up on Kickstarter, do zero promotion. And that way we'll find out how many customers I got just from people stumbling across it. And it ended up doing pretty well. All things considered, I ended up making $3,000. Okay, that's information I can pass on to my homies. Zoop, a lot of us have been looking at Zoop from afar and kind of going, I don't know about this. So I was just like, all right, fuck it. I'll be the first one in and we'll see what happens. And then I can report back and let people know what my experience was like. Zoop is different from Kickstarter and Indiegogo and other crowdfunding platforms in the sense that it is exclusively for indie comics.
That sounds like a match made in heaven, bro.
It does, doesn't it? And most of the people who are going to Kickstarter, most of the people who are going to Indiegogo, they're not looking for comic books. They're looking for gadgets. They're looking for, I don't know, cat furniture. They're looking for anything but what we're doing, right? It's a really teeny tiny percentage. So I was thinking, well, damn, that's a great idea. Everybody that's going to go here is looking for indie comics. All right, then. And we need more crowdfunding platforms. We need more options. Especially, I thought this was a really kind of a freaky coinky dink that when I launched my campaign, that was around the time that we discovered that that Indiegogo is shadow banning our campaigns. And I keep trying to explain to people, Indiegogo is not our friend. Kickstarter is not our friend. YouTube is not our friend, right? Twitter is not our friend. These are platforms that we use to build our brands. And to have one more platform can only be a good thing. And
Absolutely.
and so some people were immediately pissed off, like mad, because I guess maybe they feel loyal to Indiegogo for some reason, like you traitor. And then there was the Camilla Zong thing. She's like some SJW that works there, and she's not even like one of the founders or anything like that. But they hired her at some point. I don't even know if she's still there. I don't even know who this bitch is, to be perfectly honest, aside from the fact that from what people have mentioned, right?
Right.
And so they're like, well, I'm not backing your campaign because she works there, like cleaning toilets or something, right?
Right.
And I'm just like, well, if you're not going to buy my book, I understand. That's your, that's your prerogative. That's cool. But don't not buy it because, like, there's somebody that works there that you don't like.
Right.
Didn't make any sense to me.
Well, you got 2 days left, man. So
yeah,
if you guys were on the fence about backing SIX-GUN Gorilla because you were waiting for the omnibus, it's fucking here. It's on Zoop and only takes like maybe 3 minutes to make an account. I did it already for the Axe Wielder John campaign. I'm Comics Gay to the core, and that dude's not Comics Gay, but he's cool with it or whatever. I bought that book. I thought it looked cool, so I fucking did it. And it looks like they're going to be fulfilling it too pretty soon. So we'll see what happens with that. I know Brian's going to fulfill it. He's fulfilled 5 campaigns already.
Yep.
So you don't have to worry about that. So we have 2 days left on here. Let's see if we can get this bad boy to 10 Gs. Come and check it out. We only have 5 more to hit. It's doable. We can do this. Brian, do you want to go over the tiers a little bit, bro?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the first one is the digital edition because I know some people are very anti having a digital tier. I'm very pro because there are some folks that just want to read the book, but they don't want to pay $30 for shipping and handling, and which is incredibly understandable. I've not backed books because of that reason,
right?
And as creators, we don't like charging people $30 shipping and handling. So if somebody just wants the digital copy, that's fine. I also let people know that, if they want to pirate it, that's totally cool. That when you get a PDF from me, it belongs to you. So then you can I don't see it any different as making a copy of a CD or something like that for a friend.
Right. Then someone else hears it and then might go out and buy it later or something, or at least speak kindly or fondly of your works,
Absolutely. Yeah. And Marvel and DC are like, piracy is killing us. No, it's not. The only people that are pirating your comics are people that weren't going to buy them in the first place.
Yeah, to make reviews on how fucking stupid they are.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yep. And then there's the $50 tier, and that's the big kahuna right there.
That's the one I got. That's the big catch me up and everything all in one.
It's going to be the entire first 8 issues, which are right. So the book is already 80% finished.
Right.
And if this funds, then we're going to add issues 9 and 10, because I couldn't run a campaign for issues 9 and 10 because I already, with issues 7 and 8, had people saying, oh yeah, I'll just wait for the next trade paperback.
Right.
Because the first campaign was a trade paperback containing the first 6 issues. Also, for those people that already have the first trade paperback, there's going to be a second trade paperback. There's going to be a volume 2, because there's no way I would want to double dip, and there's no way that I expect people to buy back a book that already has issues that they already have.
Oh, that's cool. Save a couple bucks.
Absolutely. Yeah. Although I think for the omnibus edition, I'm going to be making certain little changes here and there.
That's cool, man. But you get the entirety, like the way you want it, the way Brian wants it, And I think it's the first omnibus in CG.
It is.
And it's 224 pages long.
Minimum.
That's going to be the biggest, baddest CG book out so far if you guys buy it. Hopefully it gets funded on here. And you got the floppy pack right here, $90. That's fucking awesome, dude. To be honest, it was really cool to have the floppies. You know what I mean? It's cool to burn through the book too, but then it's also cool to break it down and pick one up at a time. All these individual issues they're number 1 through 8, plus the premiere issues of 9 and 10, the epic final 2 issues of the saga.
Yep. Yep. So you're gonna get you have a choice. If you're a trade paperback person, you can get the trade paperback for $50. If you're a floppy person, you can get all 10 floppies for 90. And then of course there's the combo pack, which is the floppies plus the omnibus edition. So that way, if you're a collector and you don't want to read the floppies, you want them to be like 9.5 and put them in like a hermetically sealed Mylar snug with and all that shit, acid free backing board. That's cool. And then you have the trade paperback, and then if you just want to like read that, and wrinkle the pages or whatever, the cover, you can do that. And if you're going to buy both the floppies, the same story, as the floppies and the omnibus, I gotta throw something in there. So there's going to be a 6 a.m. sticker because it's not a CJM. It's not a CG campaign without a 6 a.m. sticker. Let's face it, right?
Oh yeah.
No offense to anybody that doesn't have one, right? But I'm just keeping it real.
I got two myself.
Yeah, you do, and they're badass. And let's see.
And you get a fucking poster too, right here. Wanted poster, right?
Yep. Yeah, and it's also going to come with a exclusive wanted poster that's going to be exclusive to this campaign and this tier.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Damn.
And if
makes me want to build a bar in my house with a saloon and fucking put all these wanted posters up with these CG Western books we got.
Oh man,
fucking badass, man.
It's I love Western comics. I always have, and I've always loved Westerns, and it's great seeing all of these Western comics,
right.
And seeing all of these weird Western comics.
Those are my favorite, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm breaking away from the Western for a couple years, but I'm gonna come back. Like it's ultimately gonna happen.
Well, I mean, because it's a genre that's limitless. You can you're never gonna run out of stories.
Yeah, it's basically like the post-apocalyptic. It's very similar to that. Got into debates with people about that. No, it's not. It didn't happen during the apocalypse. I know now, motherfucker. Look, but it's the same thing.
There's something apocalyptic about the Italian Westerns, especially the Sergio Leone films. Those do not feel like they take place in the real world. They feel like they take place in purgatory or something.
So desolate and just the fucking survival aspect of it.
And nobody is safe. They will murder kids. They will murder beautiful young women. They will murder priests.
Resources.
Nobody is safe.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's not. It bears no resemblance to the real Old West at all, right? Because it was nothing like that. And even in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, they're fighting the Civil War in Texas.
Right.
The Civil War, and I make a point of pointing that out, actually, in the first issue of SIX-GUN. One of the reasons why they're hanging out in Texas is because the Civil War is going on north to them, and they want to stay the hell away from that nonsense, right? But with the Sergio Leone films, you're not. I like what Martin Scorsese said, where he's just like, I don't understand why people seem to think that films are supposed to be like accurate reflections of the real world.
Right.
I
agree 100%. Then you got 20 on here. You got for 20 bones, you get issues 9 and 10.
Yep.
So if you already got the first 8, you can just pick those up real quick.
Yep.
And then you got the other tier right here. It's SIX-GUN Gorilla Long Days of Vengeance, Volume 2 trade paperback.
Yes.
And that's, I think I don't have that one. I had the one before that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So like I said, no double dipping.
Double dipping. We got the trailer here. Would you like to watch it?
Sure. Why not?
Let's take a look at it.
Yeah. Although I'm going to have to stop my camera because there's no way I'm watching myself watching my own trailer.
Let's do it.
We've all heard the stories. We've all heard the legends. Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, Billy the Kid. But there's a secret history to the Old West. One that seems too strange to be true, but, well, we all know what they say about the truth. Very big ape, very big guns, throwing very big holes, very bad people. I think the world is finally ready to hear the story of the strangest, the most startling Western hero of them all. Six-Gun Gorilla, Long Days of Vengeance.
Hell yeah, bro.
And all of the gunshots that you hear in that are taken directly from Sergio Leone movies.
I love that, man.
It's one of those things where it's just like, well, people aren't going to notice it, but I'm like, I'm going to know it's there. You know, it's like a lingerie. Oh man, yeah. Oh god.
Love it, man.
Fellow that put that together for me did a beautiful job, and it was the easiest thing ever to storyboard because all I had to do was just cut and paste, and then just draw little arrows. Can you make this move that way, and this move that way, and all that. It turned out really good.
Yeah, it looks awesome, man. You guys did a little creative back and forth right there, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. I was gonna ask you, what's your favorite movie?
Oh wow, that changes, doesn't it? In the top rotation, I would say my favorite movie is probably Bride of Frankenstein.
No shit. Of all time, your favorite movie is Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah, I think it's Bride of Frankenstein. It's one of those films that I think was blessed by the gods of cinema. Right, like, or some kind of like fairies just like went flying through and like sprinkled a little magic pixie dust on it. La Belle La Bête, the Cocteau version of Beauty and the Beast, that's also a favorite. That's definitely one of those movies. And then of course there's the Sergio Leone films, the Dollars trilogy, Once Upon a Time in the West, Carpenter, Escape from New York, The Thing. Boy.
Hard. You don't have one, huh? You can't.
Then of course, the Romero films, Night, Dawn, and Day. Actually, Dawn might once again, it's just like they jockey around for position, right? Which movie have I watched the most times? Probably Night and Dawn. And in many respects, I think Dawn actually might be in the number one spot, to be perfect.
Yeah, Dawn's pretty gangster, dude.
That
was the one that I always watched as a kid. Then I don't know. Then I stumbled across Return of the Living Dead, and I was like, yeah, that movie's pretty badass. That was always my favorite zombie movie. But for a while, it was Land of the Dead. I like that one a lot. Everybody hates that one, and I really like it.
I don't hate it. I just think that it's I don't know. It's very, very flawed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then there's also the remake by Tom Savini of Night of the Living Dead. I saw that one first.
Saw it in the theater, bro.
Really?
Yeah. And
man.
The only reason why I even gave it a chance was because it was produced and written by Romero.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I loved it was because it assumed that you already knew Night of the Living Dead inside and out.
Right.
And so, it would take these sharp left turns when you were expected to turn right. I was like, I see what you're doing here. Yeah, I like that movie a lot. And Time's been very kind to it, too. It sucks that, it came out when they weren't preserving all of the gore that they cut out, and thinking like, we'll put this will be on the director's cut. This will be on the extended edition. So we lost all those like sweet headshots and everything because, of course, they had to tone down the gore for an R rating.
Yeah. That always sucks.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
What's this right here? Fistful of Dynamite.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yes, World of Conehead, Fistful of Dynamite, very underrated Leone movie that always gets left out. Fantastic movie with James Coburn. Yes, it is, but it's not one of my favorites. I still think it's lesser than the Dollars trilogy and Once Upon a Time in the West. But it is a great movie. I mean, look, when it comes to like the Italian westerns, I'm always tell people, start with the Sergios. Watch everything by Sergio Leone, watch everything by Sergio Corbucci, and everything by Sergio Solima, and you'll be aight.
The Surges.
The Surges, yeah.
The surgical procedure.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
On the Western.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Like Sergio Corbucci, of course, he did Django and the original Django, and also The Great Silences, which I think is probably the best non-Leone spaghetti western. Damn,
man. I was noticing too on the art of the new SIX-GUN Gorilla, the last one. You have a new artist, it's Preston Azevedo.
Yes.
We talked about this before. He's the way you took was for the artistic approach of the line art was pencil.
Yep.
And you had Oliver the Ace or from 656. He's doing the colors on there to really bring out the bring out the pencils. I wanted to show that real quick.
Oh my god.
Before I forget.
By the way, hail 656 and get on the new Cryptidnals campaign when that drops. I don't think that's dropped yet, but if you haven't backed the Cryptidnals, back that shit now. I think they're still in demand on Indiegogo. You do need that book,
right?
Without a doubt.
I was going to show you, and I really liked it too, man. I really love pencils that are painted. Some people aren't a big fan of pencils scanned and then put into their comics, but I love it. Like Eric Powell does it all the fucking time. He even goes harder than this on there. He actually like scans the pencils. Like in here, it's a little darker. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Because
check out all of his work. You know what I mean? Just ink wash. Check out. Yep. Fuck, dude. All the goon stuff. He uses even black colored pencil, colored pencil, regular fucking scratchy pencil. So, it's a different effect, dude. You know what I mean? And this looks beautiful, man. I can't wait to see what he does for the next stuff. Right now, he's doing the artwork for Literature Devil's new book. Yeah, that looks really good too. Yeah, I believe the colors are by Oliver as well. So checking that out.
Well, yeah, because you see how this turned out. I originally, Preston and I agreed because, I look at his pencils and I'm just like, can we just release it like this? Can we just publish this? Because they're so beautiful. I don't want to see them inked. I don't want to see them colored, right? And I was even thinking, but then he was like, you know what? I'll ink, quote unquote, with my pencil. Yeah. And then totally. If you want to, if you want the right person to color your artist's pencils, ask them.
Yeah.
Let them pick the person, right?
Well, obviously, Literature Devil liked it. I'm sure that's the same route they're taking. I'm pretty sure it is. You know what I
mean? Dude, you'd be a fool if you didn't, because Ollie's colors are gorgeous, and he preserved every single line of Preston's beautiful pencil work. Fantastic! I couldn't have asked for better. For better.
It gives it that fucking really like scratchy, gritty, punky, fucking metal look to it. That's what they call it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when I look at comic book art, not that I don't like people like George Perez, for instance, who were very neat and very clean. I like to look when I'm looking at an illustration. I like to be reminded that I'm looking at an illustration. I like to see the human hand, so to speak. Yeah.
Well, like they have the new AI art now. I think that'd be cool for writers. Me, I think it's fucking horrible, but it's cool for writers or someone that wants to bang out a story and get the shit in there. I'm not a fan of it. I'm totally like 100% like, people need to have their own, views on things. And I respect that. And me, I don't like it.
It's going
to get better too. It's going to get to the point where you do not need an artist whatsoever. I mean, people are going to, obviously people are always going to want an artist. People are going to always want an artist. And there's always going to be work, but they're going to get so fucking good to where you're not even going to need an artist anymore. That's how
I disagree. I disagree completely because there's going to be something missing. There's always going to be something missing because
I don't think so. These things are, I believe these things are alive, bro. These computers are alive. I believe that there's fucking spirits in there, dude. And that to me, that's part of the singularity. Yeah. And now there's even fucking demons in there, like tulpas and shit. You see that shit the other day on 656?
Oh my God.
They put into there, dude. It's just in the beta
Spooky.
testing fucking
Spooky.
point right now. Imagine in 6 months. Imagine in a year how fucking good it's gonna be. Like I've seen so many, they fuck the hands up. That's usually what it is. They don't nail the hands right. The hands are usually put on backwards. The machine, the AI, it puts hands on backwards and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, dude. Like people, there's always you're not gonna need an artist. I mean, personally, that's what I'm thinking in like probably 10 years or so. You're gonna want one though. But that's just me. I'm not for it. But that's
yeah. I don't think that AI art, like I said, I find it fascinating. RJ, for instance, Hail RJ, he
it's beautiful, bro. It's fucking awesome.
That SIX-GUN Gorilla thing that he did, right?
Yeah.
And like, yo, like that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I think AI art is interesting. I think it's obviously in its infancy, but you're never going to be able to replace real artists. And it's kind of like the people who say that if you put a bunch of monkeys in a room and have them all banging on typewriters, eventually they'll create the complete works of William Shakespeare. Bullshit. I call bullshit, right? On that, certainly. And I think that it's the same thing with art, because I think that I do believe that you need a soul there. I do believe that.
Have you ever seen a monkey, like, have you ever seen a group of monkeys put together artwork like that?
No. I mean, look, I got a painting upstairs.
They do paint. They do paint.
But they're not drawing comic books, and they're not building bridges and skyscrapers.
They're building worlds with these things, dude. Like it's getting to that point, dude. Like you're only going to need to ask for one frame, one panel at a time, dude. You know what I mean?
You could be right. I could be wrong.
Give me some McFarlane mixed with a little bit of Simon Bisley. Give me a Viking, a Viking, something. You know what I mean? And then it'll spit it out. You know what I mean? Riding a tricycle or something, and then boom, it's got it.
The one thing that excites me is the idea of doing like computer animated, like they were going to do a computer animated movie that was going to be like I think sequel to Bride of Frankenstein that was going to have the Wolfman in it, right? And they were going to cast Boris Karloff and Lon Chaney Jr. and all these other actors
with deep fakes and stuff.
Yeah. Now that I think is possible, and I would watch the shit out of that.
I will watch it. It's a little morbid, but I would still watch it.
I don't think so. I actually think it's kind of beautiful. I actually think it's kind of like keeping them alive in a way, right?
It is for sure.
Right? I don't see it as like grave robbery. I can understand why somebody would, though.
I do. I think it's grave robbery. But personally, that's just me. I mean, like, unless they signed off on it. Like, yeah, dude.
What about deep fake Charles Bronson?
Are you talking about the dude over on the east, over on the fucking?
Yeah. I'm forgetting his name right now.
What is he? Russia or Ukraine or something like that?
I think I forget. He might be like Yugoslavian or something that, or Latvian, or I have no idea. But yeah, that's some funny shit, man.
But I mean, it gets to the point to where like you've been dead for so fucking long that it's like your face is kind of public domain at that point. In some degree, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is kind of morbid, but then again, you know what? It's been so many years, dude. It's like, fuck, man. You know what I mean? You're part of the public domain now. Like that whole square-headed Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein with the big lightning bolts on the side of her head, like her hair. I don't know, man. It's iconic. It's an iconic class. Both of them are. You have to start from that before you build from anything else, or at least acknowledge it from there. If you're gonna come in and, all right, how am I gonna make my Frankenstein look different? You'd probably look at that, and then you would read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and then you would compile stuff, and then you'd probably come across different comic books and other movies, some Hammer, Kenneth Branagh.
Well, I mean, like I read a screenplay that was written by Kurt Siodmak, who wrote a lot of Universal monster movies, including The Wolfman, and it was a script for Dracula versus the Wolfman, and it was excellent. And so that never was filmed. Well, that's the sort of thing I would love to see somebody do with computers or computer animation. Although I think combining that with live action, like they did it with Peter Cushing in Rogue One. It's the Uncanny Valley thing. And then I saw the actor that they used. He looked enough like him. Just why didn't they just, it was almost enough of a deep fake just using that, if they just used that guy. So
I think you got another backer, Brian.
Did I?
Were you at 92?
Think so.
You're at 93 now.
Oh, nice. Oh, hell yeah. Thank you.
So thank you, whoever's watching. You're fucking awesome. Thanks
Yes,
for backing. If you can, share it out. Let people know. That'd be cool too. You don't got to, but I always like to do that personally. Helps build the hype machine,
Yeah, it does.
Brian, I got to ask you another question, man. What's your favorite beer? I mean, you being German and all, it's either going to be an easy one or a hard one.
Oh, my favorite beer. Well, once again, because once I got on the right psych meds, my appetite for alcohol just disappeared.
Well, I seen you with some bomb ass Herradura or Hornitos the other day, right? For Tommy Mark's closeout.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, that doesn't mean I don't get drunk, but I'll still have a drink, right?
Yeah.
And
totally. That's how I am now, dude. I just drink I
like Warsteiner. I love Warsteiner. Yeah. I like Stella Artois.
Okay.
I like shit, man. Even like some of the American stuff. Like Sam Adams Cherry Wheat, and
I'm drinking this Mind Haze right now by fucking Firestone Walker. It's like a double. It's like an 8.3. I never had it before. I figured I'd pick it up. I've been drinking Mickey's the last two, so I figured I'll pick one up for this stream and one for the horror show we're going to be doing in about an hour or so, right?
Yeah.
And watch me some, so if you guys want, you could check us out on Horror Movie Club, Comics Gate Horror Movie Club. We do that every week on Brian's channel. We normally do it at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're doing it at 8 p.m. tonight and going forward, or is that just tonight?
Yeah. Because that way it's going to give us an hour to get something to eat.
Smart. And it's prime time, baby. 8 o'clock.
And it's prime time, and it works out with the Madness Network. So
cool. Yeah, give us a little break too. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah,
thank you so much for having me, brother, man.
For sure, man. For sure. And if you guys want, you can check us out there. We're doing Terrifier 1. Terrifier, and we'll be talking about that a little bit tonight. And Brian's campaign, man. Brian's been around for a minute. He's been fulfilling like a fucking machine. He's been writing like a machine. You guys don't know about all the stuff that he's been doing, but he's got a lot of stuff that's going to explode before you know it. This book if this book doesn't get funded, it will come out eventually. I guarantee you, because it's so fucking good. So if you can, try to come and get it right now. All right.
Yeah, you'd be doing homie a favor for sure.
Yeah, Brian's a homie, solid dude. He gets down. And is there anything else you'd like to say about your book, Brian?
Check it out. If you like the previous issues, I should add you know what? If you haven't read the book and you'd like to just read the first issue for free, email me, hit me up on the Twitter or whatever, and I'll email it to you, because that gives you a chance to then kick the tires and make sure that this is something that you want to read. But if I could offer a money back guarantee, I absolutely would, because, and I don't say this to boast, everybody loves this book. And
no, everybody loves it, dude.
Who would have thought? Who would have thunk? I figured some people would really love it, but I didn't think everybody would get off on it. And everybody seems to get a kick out of it. So check it out. For
sure, man. And I also put the link in the bottom of the chat. Thanks for everybody that showed up today. I really appreciate it. This is my pilot episode, first time streaming on StreamYard. And I've been fucking making comics and being on shows and reviewing stuff too. So for a few years now. So some of you guys know who I am, some of you don't, but thank you. And as always, folks, thanks for watching. If you like metal, you like movies, you like brewskis, stop on by. Thanks for watching. Be bold and be brave. And remember, roll the bones to know your role. You guys have a great day. Bye.
Peace.